Okay, I binge watched seasons 5, 6, and I ended up leading into 7. So we ended up watching 7 of Game of Thrones. In the Game of Thrones watch, we are going to leave season 8 to do as a podcast on its own.
Yeah.
Because of the fanboy outcry, and I'll be honest, I'm 2 episodes in, and I don't know what people's problem is. So I've got 6 more episodes to find out what everyone's crying on about. So I've actually, because it's when I've watched it, it's literally all blended into one. Off the top of my head, the week season so far is season 7.
See, it's 5 for me.
So you got season 5, which was The War to Come, The House of Black and White, High Sparrow, Sons of the Harpy, Kill the Boy.
Yeah, I 5's a bit sort of, I can't really remember what happens in it for me.
Don't they kill off? Spoilers. Jon Snow at the end of 5.
Yeah, that's right.
And is that the one where you got the? Yeah, it's, and we've met the living dead zombies.
Yeah, they kill what's his name? Barristan as well, with Daenerys's like old knight fella with the white hair. I was really annoyed about that actually, because I really liked him, because he's still alive in the books.
Who's this?
Barristan Selmy, you know, the fella that's defending Daenerys when Jorah gets exiled. He's got like a white beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One way, the Unsullied, and they got those people with their helmets.
Sons of the Harpy.
Yeah.
I do actually like the whole idea of that, like that she's in a land that's unpopular. She's unpopular in that land as queen to a lot of people, and I quite like, because you only ever see like kings and queens taking over in the show, and then everyone's fine with it, you know. Whereas, you know, there was always rebellions going on in medieval times, so why wouldn't they here?
One of the things, like, season, you know, for start, that was, you know, when you do take over, I agree with what you're saying, and you know, Daenerys has always been to me the secondary, sort of like, she's out here, everybody else is doing their thing, there she is, trying to set the world to rights. She's getting rid of slaves, but there are consequences.
Yeah,
kind of very adult about it, the way that they're dealing with it. The whole you can't take away slaves without leaving something there, and there are people going to be pissed off about it.
Yeah.
And the guy that plays Rocky in Yesterday, I know, I'm going to call him one of the characters that I know him for.
Which guy's that?
Is, you know, the roadie from Yesterday, one of the ones that you're going to execute.
Oh yeah, he's in what else is he in? I've seen him as well before somewhere. I can't really think what it is now, but yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah, the guy with the afro.
Yeah.
As
soon as I saw it, I was like, it's Rocky from Yesterday, and I'm like, because I love Yesterday. If you don't, you know, the Danny Boyle, Richard Curtis film, if anyone knows what I'm on about. But the son that marries the chick that's married to everybody, what's her name? Tommen Stark? Tommen, is it? The king that commits suicide.
What, the Cersei?
Yeah. Yes. Pardon?
What, you mean the one Lena Headey plays?
Yeah, her son, the one that's the king.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said the queen that marries everyone.
Who's his wife? Was it?
Oh, Marjorie. Yeah. Sorry.
She's in season 6 when she gets killed.
Yeah, right at the end.
I was like, yes, but I felt sorry for the immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah, and thingy as well. What's his name? Jonathan Pryce. I like him in that. I think he plays a good arsehole, doesn't he?
Oh, he's brilliant, because I know him from Governor Weatherby Swan from Pirates of the Caribbean, and him playing a religious fanatic.
And Elliot Carver from Tomorrow Never Dies as well.
Yeah, he was good.
He was good, yeah. He kind of annoyed me at first, but then it's nice to see a character that sort of stands up to Cersei for a change, because she's always sort of easily walking over people, and there's no consequences. But it's a nice parallel with Daenerys that, you know, taking certain things away, like the faith. Oh, sorry, replanting them leads to her downfall, essentially, like her temporary downfall.
I like the bit where she gets shamed. It reminds me of What We Do in the Shadows, when they shame the what's his name? Is it Declan?
Oh yeah.
Shame. And I'm peeing myself. I was like a sheer vampire.
It's so like ingrained in like memes and stuff now, the whole shame thing. I mean, when we my partner and I, when we went to York a few years ago, we went to the York dungeon, and like one of their routines, they even did that. Like they were like shame to the audience, and me and my partner just wet ourselves because we just knew immediately what it was.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, I 6 is a really good season for me. I mean, the Battle of the Bastards is just it's probably the best old style battle sequence I've seen, and it's better than any like historical films battle sequences.
Yeah, season 6, Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah, very good. I feel sorry for the poor giant.
Yeah.
1-1.
Oh, that was so sad when they killed him off. But Ewan Ryan, what a revelation!
Great actor, isn't he?
Oh, he's superb. I'm watching him being a total bastard. Then I'm watching. Then it was the same time as American Gods. He plays Doyle.
Yeah.
Leprechaun, and I'm literally going, he is so cool as a leprechaun. Then you watch him as Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah, he's an asshole, isn't he? Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
he's superb. It's like that's perfection. It's someone that can piss you off that much, and then you can watch him playing someone that's you really like at the same time.
I like his death as well. You know, it's really sort of, it's a full circle ironic kind of death, isn't it? That loyalty's the thing that kills him. Yeah. Like the things that he thought were loyal weren't, you know. And I think like it's just cool that, you know, because I mean, you're supposed to be thinking that John's going to just straight up murder him for what's going on, but I like that they didn't go down the route of just having that sort of what would have happened in another action fantasy thing, you know, just a sword fight, and it's like the one person he's abused constantly is the one that gets the one up and uses his own dogs against him.
Oh, brilliant! That was gruesome.
Yeah.
And you said, I remember you and my fiance saying about because I have, as you know from the other podcast, from the other Game of Thrones podcast that we've been doing, that I like David Bradley.
Yeah.
And what's his character's name again?
Walder Frey.
Well, you said he's also, you're gonna hate him when you watch this. And,
yeah.
And when he gets his own by Arya, I was like, yes. And the opening to season 7.
Yeah, where they all she poisons the rest of them.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The genius of that scene is that you've got David Bradley playing Maisie Williams playing David Bradley. It's just like there's a triple sort of thing going on there that, you know, he's just fantastic at doing it.
Oh, superb. And the revenge is, although I did say, I did say to my fiance when he got killed, I said, don't worry, he'll regenerate in a minute.
Yeah.
So the 12th Doctor made Isildur, Maisie Williams, immortal.
Yeah.
So, and David Bradley played the first Doctor in Twice Upon a Time. So it's part of the whole Doctor Who.
Well, Frey's just an unfortunate alias that he got stuck with.
Yeah.
I like to think that the TARDIS is just behind the castle.
Actually, he's more like Solomon in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Yeah, I can't remember that one. I remember it, but I didn't even know he was in it, actually.
Matt Smith episode. So he's actually had 3 Doctor Who things, which is a little segue to the Great Intelligence. I can't believe Richard E. Grant was in it.
Yeah, he's the guy that's in charge of the acting troupe, isn't he?
Yeah, I was like, is that Richard E. Grant? I was like, from Doctor Who and Star Wars and With Nail and I.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
And the there's quite a few cameos in that season actually, because then you've got Ian McShane as well, haven't you?
Oh wow,
He's really good in that. I like that. I feel so sorry for that little village.
Yeah. It's a one episode thing though. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm bringing the Hound back.
Yeah, I was trying to keep that like as I don't know if you probably guessed he was going to come back or.
I think I've seen him in the last episode because I watched the last episode with a bottle of when she was watching it.
That kind of ruins any tension, doesn't it? If you remember.
Yeah, but it's Michael.
Yeah, it's not that easy. My rule for this show was always that if you don't see them die, then they may come back. Although that's not been true with people like Stannis, who's kind of killed off screen, isn't he? You don't see him hit the floor, but he's one of the most boring characters in the whole show. I think Stannis. I just can't get on with him.
He followed the villain's arc that because he murdered his daughter, he had to die.
Yeah, that's quite shocking, that scene, actually, because you don't think that's going to happen. And then even the mum's like, hang on a minute.
That was... And she hangs herself.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's not a happy show, is it?
No. But Dame Diana Rigg, may she rest in peace.
Oh, in both senses. I mean, her death scene is so good in season 7, isn't it? Just to see Diana Rigg say the C word.
She eats up the screen. You can tell. You can tell when people are enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
I just get the impression when you see Diana Rigg on the screen and you see everybody else acting against her, you don't go out of it because I think they up the game because I think she more than anyone in the show, she brings that gravity to it.
I mean, I don't get the criticism that this show's really misogynistic and has no powerful women. I mean, I see nothing but powerful women in it. I mean, you've got her, you've got Cersei, Arya, Sansa becomes powerful, like strong-willed. I mean, she's kind of like a crybaby at the start, but she does have a pretty hard fucking character arc to go through, getting raped and whatnot. Yeah. And even people like Catelyn Stark, the Red Woman, they're all women that take what they want and get what they want. I just don't get that argument. I mean, I get the fact that it's obviously set in a medieval kind of climate, so yeah, that was a man's world. But this is a show where there is strong women, and they do. Cersei's queen now, like properly, queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
I think that a lot of people see the fact that they have nudity, and you see these characters naked as being not a sign of strength.
But you see just as many wangs as you do.
That is true. But I suppose this is not my opinion. This is just a theory. So if anyone's going to stop saying negative energy, bringing negative energy our way, but if a guy gets his schlong out on screen, that's empowering. But if a woman gets naked, it's kind of like
exploitative.
Yeah. Whereas a guy is like, this is a great warrior naked on screen showing off his prowess.
Yeah.
This is the. I mean,
here's a slut. Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's more sort of explicit in the books where, Cersei even says to Sansa when she's a hostage still in King's Landing, we have the greatest weapon no man could ever have, and she says, "Oh, what's that?" And she says, "Well, it's between your legs, so remember when to use it, how to use it, and no one will ever get the better of you." And I think, like, she's kind of a badass character in that sense, yet using her weakness to her strengths.
But if you think about it, in the bigger picture of fandom, especially right now, and there's a lot of, with all the OnlyFans groups and everything and pages, and people making money dressing up as sexy versions of characters from the likes of Games of Thrones and anything that you can imagine.
Why not?
That's exploitative towards men because these are women that are using their bodies to make money by selling an image, not selling their bodies, but selling an image. So does that mean that they have more power than the people that are actually paying to access these images?
Oh yeah, essentially. I mean, I don't really have a problem with them doing it. If that's how you want to make money, then fine, go for it. I don't have a problem with porn stars even making money. It's, if you're doing it for your family or whatever, or to live, then fair enough. But Yeah, I'm kind of glad they left out all the nudity later on, because it allows everything to sort of flow a lot better, doesn't it? Because I mean, there used to be quite a big frustration among fans that there'd be something important going on, and then we'd cut to this graphic sex scene, and you'd be like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
You are aware there is an area of the fan base that might be complaining about it, but they're the ones that want to see it, because that's the
Yeah,
only time they'll see a naked woman for the next few months, or until the next episode, or
true,
just till
yeah,
it's ended, which might actually be the complaint for the later seasons, especially season 8, is because there's been minimal nudity in season 8. So rather than complaining about the story and the story arcs, is because they didn't get to see Kira from Star Wars' Solo naked.
yeah, yeah. I think, and 7 even has even got not any worth remembering, really. I don't think.
No, but I would say it's like when I started watching Doctor Who. When I watched a few episodes of the early Matt Smith.
Yeah,
So I'm only watching it for the really attractive young Ginge. So why am I watching it if I'm just watching for that? So I switched it off. If all you're watching is shows for the nudity, why are you watching it? You can just watch a porno.
exactly.
You got to be invested in the story.
Yeah, which is a damn good one in this show, in my opinion. And I can't believe you don't like season 7. I quite like season. I think when you see the dragon in action for the first time, you're like, holy shit.
It was just not. It was a hard. I always judge it on the how how many times do I get my phone out to have a look who these people are, and
Well, there's so many cameos in this show that you should just, your phone should be taken off you, because you'd just be like, I've seen that guy before. I've seen that guy before. What's she out of? It's constant in Game of Thrones.
I know one of the women's going to be in Solo, not Solo. Why did I say Solo? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah, in Deer of Armor, I think it is. The one
Yeah,
that plays Ilaria Sand.
and
Yeah, I quite like all the Dawn stuff, actually. There's a lot of people don't like it, but I quite like the 3 sand snakes, and especially when Bron's in the prison cell and that one of them is taunting him, and he's kind of like, oh, for God's sake, beautiful women, they just fall around me.
I didn't recognize Jessica Henwick from Iron Fist. I had to go
Oh,
back and watch it. So she played. Let me have a look. And the way that what's her name kills her. She's always taught. She got locked up. What's her name? Cersei's got her locked up. And she's going to be poisoned, and she's gonna have to look at a corpse as it deteriorates.
yeah, Ilaria Sand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was a gruesome way of torture.
yeah, because they murdered her daughter, didn't they, basically? But did you guess the whole ice dragon thing was going to happen or not? The zombie dragon, kind of the
I
White
saw
Walker.
the zombie dragon. I knew they'd do something with that, because anything that dies can be brought back.
Yeah.
But yes, Nymeria Sand, Jessica Henwick.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
She's Colleen Wing in Iron Fist, and she was in episode 7 as well.
Right.
Just Tester, one of the pilots, and
Okay,
you'll know it. You'll like it soon. She's going to be in the Matrix 4. Yeah, I haven't yet to. I've yet to see the. I've seen the ice dragon blow the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
He blew its hole in the wall. It's like.
Well, there was kind of like loads of speculation among all the fans how they'd bring, like, I've said this as well since the show started in the books. Like, the wall is a massive plot device, and you do not create something that big unless it comes down at the end. Like, you can't hint that it's kept the 7 kingdoms like safe for thousands of years. Is coming down at the end of this story, 100,000%. And I kind of thought what I thought was going to happen was, and it's weird, this, Steve, but you'll never believe it. But I didn't stop watching the show when it turned out to be wrong.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be a dragon inside the wall, like an ice dragon, and I thought that'd be quite a cool idea. But then when you see what happens, it's also equally. I mean, the Night King. I think Night King's really cool as well.
every time I see them, all I think of is Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah, they're quite similar, aren't they?
and the three-eyed raven played by Max von Sydow.
Yeah, another cameo from someone else from Star Wars.
Yeah, and I like to find out how Hodor got his name.
Yeah, it's quite clever actually, isn't it? Because it hasn't been disclosed in the book, so I'm assuming this is how. But that's quite a clever episode, isn't it? How he creates himself in the past.
Yeah,
I think I like that.
When Ramsay Bolton kills off Tonks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm
Kill
sad to see her
Tonks.
go.
It's like, oh,
No more Tonks tits.
oh, I couldn't believe it when she got her hoo-hoos out.
Well, it's a shame as well because she's kind of like she's the character that knows how to do everything because she's a wildling, like she's seen the world, and you think I knew as soon as she got a knife out there, I thought, oh, she's fucked, like because it's too early to kill him off.
Yeah, and the twist at the end of season 7 that about Jon Snow's parentage.
Oh yes, the famed fan theory that came true.
Yeah,
it was actually that got the two creators the job because George Martin wouldn't give over any adaptation rights to anyone unless they could guess something later in the books. Oh yeah, unless they could guess John's true parentage, and they came up with the whole. I didn't come up with it, but they said I think we figured out that it's Ned's sister and Rhaegar, and he was obviously like, "Yeah, job's yours." But
nice.
it was circulating around the fan community for years, but it turned out to be one that actually made sense and is actually true. And I like the shot they do where they reveal it. You know, where they do the flashback with young Ned, who is scarily sounds exactly like Sean Bean, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But when they got the stairs, they don't show you the child's face. It's just it cuts to John's face, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
I thought that was good, and I've actually we'll do with it when we do with episode 8, season 8.
Yeah,
but I know I thought that's
makes more sense of the reason why Ned was so protective of his sister and why he would take this this child in and have to submit it to so much hate from Catelyn, and that was all because of the promise he made to his sister, because Ned was so honourable. Yeah. He's the honourable guy, isn't he? And it makes that whole conversation at the end of the second episode, of the first season, where he says, "When I return, we'll talk about your mother."
Yeah.
And it makes you really realise how much you miss Ned as a character, I think.
He was good, and I think that him and of course you got Jon Snow, who they are characters that try and do what's right above everything else. So and when you find out that his dad wasn't his real dad, who he had this thing that he raped Ned's sister. Turns out no, they weren't. They were married and everything, and that was.
And it kind of brings like a even bigger revelation to like that Robert's rebellion is based on a lie.
Yeah.
And only Ned knows the truth. And it's just I don't know if he knows she wasn't raped. But I assume it looks like he's guessed that she wasn't, kind of thing. But I love the poetics of Game of Thrones, that it works like that. Like a decision that happens in the past will come back in the future, and you'll realize it's completely different. It's like the whole thing when you find out about Jaime not being as bad a guy as you think he is, and the reason he's a dishonorable Kingslayer is because he wanted to save thousands of people's lives.
Yeah,
it's the same sort of thing. That's what I love about that show. Like something doesn't seem the way it is later on.
You got some characters like Ramsay and Walder Frey and Joffrey, whose arc is power. It'll be a total pass. But then you got the ones those that aren't motivated by power are motivated by honor.
Yeah, like Tyrion, Ed, John. But I do like. There's the more interesting ones, though, isn't there? Like Arya, where she starts off as this little annoying little girl. Like, not annoying, I mean, like, she annoys everyone else, doesn't she? She's like a little sort of dynamo of energy. And she becomes this... You sort of can predict her arc, because she's already a little terror, isn't she? But Sansa's got a really good arc, I think, because she starts off as, like, this character that everyone moaned about, and then she's this really strong, like, independent character later on. And I think she has one of the best arcs, along with Tyrion and Jaime.
Is it season 8 or the end of season 7 we find out the truth about the Irish guy, Littlefinger?
Oh, it's the end of 7, isn't it? Where they stab him in the... That's a great scene, because you think it's going the way he's wanting it to go, where they're falling out with each other, and then they just, like, there's that last scene where it's like, we accuse you of treason, and you're thinking, what's going on here? He
was an unlikable character, so I gotta give him credit.
He was good though. Aidan Gillen's great at that part, isn't he?
He's brilliant, but he plays a bastard. We used that word quite a bit today in this episode.
No, there's loads of them. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
but he's caught in his own lie, and it's the best way for someone like that to go, isn't it?
Yeah. Like you said, way that he's manipulating everything, but they see through it at the end because they've been with him doing it in front of them the whole time, so they learnt it from him, which gives it that great poetic irony that he makes his own downfall because he tries to go too complicated with people that know his shit. I will give him credit. He's in Bohemian Rhapsody as well, John Reed.
Yeah, he is, yeah. And funnily enough, the guy that plays John Reed in Rocketman is Rob Stark as well, Richard Madden.
Jeez. Everything's connected.
It is.
But I gotta give it, I mean, like I said, it's better than I thought it would be, and I'm looking forward to getting through season 8 because I kind of okay, it's just a bit personal because you got season 8 of Game of Thrones, then you got episode 8 of Star Wars.
Yeah.
The two things that have been fan petitions.
Yeah.
So I'm going into this one with a bit of I want to like season 8 because I really want to see what all these basement dwellers that seem to have a lot more time than what we have to actually formulate these petitions and start spewing their bile across the internet. I really want to enjoy it just so I can do another really, really good podcast.
Yeah, I don't actually see that much wrong with it. I mean, I get what people are talking about with the ending, like, in some respects, but it's by no means the worst ending of TV history. I mean, something like Lost, that's got an absolutely abysmal ending that ruins the whole show for me, and Dexter. But people still rave about them, and I don't know why this was any different. Maybe because of how popular it was, but it's like you say, they're just sitting in basements moaning about things they can't control.
Well, that's going to be next week's podcast of what did we think of season 8.
Yeah.
And it's going to be shortly afterwards. Hopefully, we're going to, because it was the last episode was a really divisive one, wasn't it? More than anything. We are going to commentary track it.
Yeah.
That way we can.
I've got so much I want to say.
Yeah. This is one that, I mean, like, I only saw I think I've only seen the last half hour of episode 8, so I know how it ends. But I'm looking forward to dissecting it. In case I forget to say in the next one, I've just seen episode 2 of 8, and it's them basically them talking around, and I think that so far is one of the best episodes I've seen so far of all the seasons. But we're going to discuss this more next week. I just wanted to get it out there now.
The next one's even better.
I'll be watching that later today.
Yeah.
So enjoyable. Like I said, we've got through this pretty fast. So that's it. That's all I can say about season 5, 6, and 7.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Yep. So coming next week or the next podcast, in a few months or a few weeks, we'll be doing dissecting episodes, season 8. I'm Stevie W.
I'm Callum.